Are you ready to uncover the chilling history and twisted folklore? Are you ready to traverse eerie landscapes and take on monstrous foes as you peel back the layers of cults and blood sacrifice? Let's find out.
But you know what they say, mi sol. Donde hay amor, hay dolor.
Hey there everybody, my name is Warwick and welcome to Warwick Reviews with me, Warwick. And today we're going to be checking out Crisol, Theatre of Idols, a new horror game from the team at Blumhouse, and really excited to check it out. And I want to say a big shout out to the team for the review code. I really appreciate that. And also thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Again, my name is Warwick, and if you don't know, I don't just do reviews here, although you will find many, including things on Corsair, on video games, on TTRPGs, also unboxings and sort of funny shorts. But also you will find me streaming on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Warwick, and on all the socials where you may be. But like I said, we're going to check out Crisol, Theatre of Idols. So let's begin. Right, so when we start, we've got game difficulty. So you got Novice, Penitent, Martyr, or Custom. Novice is, as a newcomer, you will receive greater resources and your foes will be less lethal. A gentler road to learn the ways of the sun without falling into despair. The Penitent's path is the Order's standard experience. Your enemies begin to grow more dangerous, but resources are distributed fairly. Here, the true test of faith begins. Martyr, so expect no mercy. Enemies are bloodthirsty beasts. Your weapon may slay you if you offer more than you can bear, and you will be able to save your soul only manually. And Custom, which is actually really cool to see. So you don't get to see this very much, like it's easy, hard, difficult, but this is where you can actually customize it exactly how you want. And this is what I love about these types of games, or just games in general, is having these options available. It doesn't diminish your achievements in the games. You play it on super hard or sort of merciless difficulties on various games where someone else might have beaten it but in a different difficulty. Like you always get this sort of discourse about, you play it on easy and all the stuff doesn't really, it's not really playing the game properly. End of the day, games are form of entertainment, something to enjoy and play with friends or even solo and experience things that you wouldn't anywhere else. Like gaming is completely unique. Like you don't get that same feeling with almost any other media. And so let people play how they want to play. Like I always use an example of Dead Space, the remake. Fantastic game. If you haven't played it, please check it out. Yeah, with that, there's an option to sort of blur the blood or blur the gore, or even have trigger warnings saying, hey, coming up, there's going to be this really gory thing. And people are up in arms about it. It's like, it ruins the experience. It's like, it may ruin the experience for you, but you don't have to have it on. Like these options aren't on by default. You have to turn them on. So allowing someone to go, you know what, I enjoy horrors, but I might want trigger warnings. Or for me, personally, I love horror games, but I also stream them as well. And there will be people in the stream who may want to sort of know what's happening. So having an option, hey, by the way, there's something really gory coming up. People are, you know what, I'll check out from this part. Especially with horror, you might enjoy the scares of horror rather than the gore, or vice versa, And so having options of these where like reload cost increased or decreased, death by reloading, yes or no, enemy damage, so you can reduce it. You go, you know what, I want enemy damage increased but low health. I want distance enemies and squeeze to be reduced. I want quick time events to be longer time, checkpoints, yes or no, and you can customize, and I love that. Anyway, we'll go with Penitent, which seems to be the balance, is like the ordained standard experience. So we'll go by how they would want us to play. So Crisol, Theatre of Idols, finds you uncovering the chilling history and twisted folklore of Tormentosa, a beautiful but malevolent island. You traverse eerie landscapes and take on monstrous foes as you peel back the layers of cults and blood sacrifice. So this has been touted by the Vermilla Studios team, which is an independent game studio based in Spain. This is a gripping first-person horror/action adventure set in the haunting world of Hispania, a nightmarish reimagining of Spain. Play as Gabriel, a soldier who can use his own blood, the deadly weapon. You endeavor on a journey to fulfill a divine mission from the sun god. So nice cheery stuff, you know, Heart of Spain and stuff. Very cool. That's the premise of it, basically. There's more that we'll go through as we play the game, but that's basically it. And as I said, it's from Vermilla Studios, which is an independent game development studio. So Crisol is actually Vermilla Studios' first or debut title. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. One of the sort of unique mechanics of this game, which you just saw, is this little weapon here, which you reload with your own blood. So we just have defeated an enemy which exploded. So we'll have a quick shot. So a few shots there. So at the moment we have 7 bullets, as it were, and we want to reload. So we reload with basically reload button, and as you can see, it actually pierces our body or our hand until it reloads up back to 10. But with that, it also takes some of your health away. So in theory, what I could do is I could just keep shooting. I can reload and just keep going until I run out of health. I don't really want to do that, but it's really pretty cool. Pretty cool, unique mechanic that I've not really seen. Also, the gun looks bloody epic as well, like literally bloody epic. And yeah, it's a really cool mechanic with that. So we have this really cool gun with the blood. Don't know why it's doing that, but it's doing it, and it's a crab. But yeah, really cool. And so sort of really interesting sort of resource management, but in a unique way where not only you resource, like you're having to manage like your health and stuff, but you're doing it through your gun. So you're like, what do I sacrifice more? Do I need to save myself? So do I need ammo, but I have less health? Or do I try to run with more health? So pretty cool, pretty cool. So a bit more sort of explain how it works. So feed on blood. I'm using controller, so hold A to absorb blood from dead animals. The body will disappear after you absorb it, so try not to waste it. So there we go, our healths are going up. So if I wanted to, there's a dead animal just over there been highlighted. So apparently these dead ones are 2 dead, so we can't use these. But if we go towards this one over here and absorb it, there we go, health's gone up, piece got disappeared, and there we go, nicely done. That is terrifying. What the hell is that? So blood is a good resource in this game. So melee combat, so you press RB to attack with your knife. If timed correctly, your slash can also block most enemy attacks. So your knife will lose durability with use. If it becomes completely worn down, it will lose its ability to block and its damage will reduce to a minimum. You will need to find a sharpener's motorbike to repair it. So we have plasmarine, so a syringe filled with a thick shimmering liquid. The label claims it's a medical compound that rapidly regenerates blood and heals wounds in seconds. Good to know. So health with a nice lovely needle. And there you go, explains it. So press on the plus on the D-pad. Again, use your controller to use the syringe from your inventory. It is a healing compound that regenerates a small amount of blood. You can find syringes spread throughout. So now we've got, this is where we sharpen our knife, as explained earlier. So sharpener's motorbike. We can use gasoline to turn on the motorbike to sharpen your knife. We'll pick up the gasoline, and I think it shows you this for the first time when you pick items up. So gasoline can, an old can is a bit dented, but it still has some gasoline left. There is the gasoline just there, or the sharpening tool. So you can see in the top left, the durability. So the knife is now full. So knife is very much something that you can use melee, but it's probably better to use more in tight situations rather than just going in knife only. I'm sure you can do knife only, and I'm sure there'll be a point where you can increase durability, but right now where we are, it's probably best to not use a knife unless you need it. Right, so here is our menu through the game. So inventory, map, journal, and skills. So weapons, or inventory, sorry, you've got weapons. So we've got our pistol and our knife, and slots for more. Now, we'll talk about a shotgun earlier, so you'll probably see that at some point. Consumables, so throughout the game, you've seen we've been collecting silver balls, so high quality silver coins with some sort of currency. And then we've got our plasma, which basically heals us. Items, so when we pick any items up, like probably keys and things will go in there. And legacy. Map, so where we've been, where we are, so in blue, and where we're trying to go. And this is our objective on the left. So find a way to the cathedral, recover all your blood, leave the monastery, find Rio Seco. Easy. So yeah, bottom right, unknown locations, just there, completed, and exploring. So right now we're just about to go upstairs to a new room. Journal, so we take notes and diary. So our diary is sort of basically what we're taking stock of as we go through the game. So where we've realized, so we explored the island. So for reasons still unknown to me, I've been chosen by my lord. I must find the cathedral as soon as possible and face whatever awaits me within the walls. Do not know what sets me apart from the others. I can only know that I cannot fail him. Objectives there, memories, so have some memories so we can sort of go through their sort of basically memories. This can't be happening. Somebody wake me up already. This is a bit more there. And tutorials. So if you need any tutorials on how things work. Your skills. So we've got essence and crow relics. So this is where we can unlock skills. And this will probably open up later on in the game. But different skills to steer. So for example, absorbing blood above your maximum health gives you 20% chance of generating a blood syringe. You got a bullet, 12% chance of not consuming a projectile if it hits an enemy. So, as with all reviews I've done, if you've watched before, thank you for being a long time watcher, appreciate it. But I always like to go through settings and all the extras that these games have in place. And it's nice to see extras. I was thinking about it earlier, and I was like, I don't think I've actually seen an extras option with any other game that I reviewed. So we'll go look at extras. So with extras, we've got art gallery, models, achievements, vinyl records, Mariamento pages, and credits. Some of these can only be locked after you complete the storyline, which I think makes sense, because otherwise they would spoil probably some of the lore and the story. If we click on achievements, so there's various achievements here. Again, we won't look for too many, but like just achievements within the game. So Forbidden Love, complete chapter 1 on any difficulty, collect coins, destroy all idols, free all crows. So there's quite a few achievements right here, which is really cool to see. So some vinyls that you pick up, and I'm guessing you can play. Yeah, you can play. It says bottom right, play and stop. So you can actually play different vinyls in here. So if you want a bit of a rest. Mariamento pages. But at the moment, as you can see, we have 0 pages because we've only just started the game. But this is where you can put some pages, which I'm guessing is things that you collect throughout the game. So again, really nice to see this, and again with credits, which plays a whole full credits. But yeah, really nice to see. And then we've got settings, which I always like to go through. So we've got various different settings here. So controls, gameplay, graphics, audio, language, and accessibility. So with controls, you can play with keyboard or controller. So we've got key binding and sort of invert mouse, as well as controller. So we can go to key binding on keyboard. So you can key bind basically all your controls that you want. A lot here, so I can go that. And then various things you can do. So you can do all binding that. Again with controller, which is nice. So you got these here. It looks like you can't change manually, you can only set your controls and your configuration. So you got 1, 2, or 3 on the controller, which is better than nothing. Not seen too much, but I've seen a couple of games where you're able to fine tune each control to make it exactly how you want. But I will say it's nice to have a option between Xbox and PlayStation controller. Even though we are playing on PC, it's nice to have these options, so when it comes with X or whatever, you know what that is. Like to be sort of seeing more options like the Switch Pro controller or even like the Steam controller, but it's nice to have these options if I would like to see a little bit more on the controller side. Gameplay. So again, gameplay, self-explanatory, various different settings. You've got general settings, you've got HUD, so you can turn the HUD off, which is great. Turn off tutorials, FOVs you can change, so we can go as high as 90, or as 80. It's not a huge amount, but at least it's something. And again, it's nice to have a HUD off or on. Maybe like to see a bit more of a fine tune of the HUD. So if there's depending on you want health or whatever, like having different varieties or different levels of the HUD, but not have the option. Some people would like to play with no HUD, but more of an immersion. Mouse sensitivity, so your general camera and aim sensitivity all there, it's at 50 by default. Okay, controller sensitivity, which is nice. Aim assist, so you enable aim assist and then you turn it on, then you got the target lock and how it works. Camera shake, which is always nice because I'm not a fan of camera shake. Don't know what is a thing. It's always a thing that's been added, but then they always give you a option to turn it off, and I always turn it off because I just don't like the camera shake. So that's that there. And the graphics, again, various settings here. Self-explanatory. Frame rates, screen resolution, screen mode, V-Sync, upscaling types, so you can various types if you know what you're doing. And then you sort of got your graphics quality, so you can either just like a preset which comes with low, medium, or high, or then custom. So you want to go, you know what, I want a lot of view distance, I don't want any bloom or shadows, etc. So you can customize it, but you got all these there, and you got various settings like reflections, effects, foliage, shadows, audio. So you've got game, dialogue, FX, and music. It's all 100 by default. Language. So with voice, there's 2 voice languages available. So you've got English or Spanish. With display, quite a few more options there. And subtitles and subtitle size. Nice options. I would like to sort of see how subtitle size would actually look like. What's their large? Is that how large it is? Or is it larger than that? Is it too large? Is medium large? Like, it's nice to have the options to have the different size subtitles, but I don't know what that means. And accessibility, and a few accessibility options. Actually, quite a lot, actually, which is quite nice to see. So we've got a lot of crosshair, so you can have either cross off or on. I will recommend recommend, as these are first person like sort of games, any first person is always try to have a crosshair on. So it helps, especially if you suffer from motion sickness, it helps you sort of center the game for you. So that might help with things. And you got types, so you can different types. Again, I don't know what normal means. It'd be nice to have options to know what these are. Center dot, so you can also have a center dot as well. So even if you just want crosshair off, but you want a dot to sort of help with motion sickness, you can have it on. And thickness, again, great to have these options. Don't know what that means. And then different colors, outlines, colorblind mode, and high contrast and sort of player colors and stuff. But overall, not bad settings. Nice lot of options there. I'd like to see more to actually explain what they are. It's nice to have this will change this. So for example, if we go to accessibility crosshair, it'd be nice to see an option saying this is what the crosshair looks like. And if you turn it off, then it's how it looks like from that. So just so you're having an idea rather than being okay, I think that's what I want. Going to the game and go, oh, actually, I need to change it again. But overall, not bad settings. When you get past the prologue of this game, you get basically it's like a hub area where this is where you can buy shops and upgrades. So you got arsenal and skills from this fortune teller, question marks, hopefully a shotgun. I mean, it's a horror game. We've got a pistol, a knife, and a plasma. So these, you can upgrade them. And see here, so we've already upgraded the durability of the knife from 5 to 10, which is a lot better. And also on the right, you can see damage and durability on these items here. So for example, you can just look at how much more damage you will do. Fire rate, reload, and ammo. And with plasma, you can see from 3 to 4. Sure, there'll be more options as you progress through the game. Skills, so throughout the game you're basically defeating enemies, and with that you get basically these sort of these souls or the essence, as the game says, and these you can use to unlock skills. So each one has its own cost, so some are more expensive than others. So we've got a few here, but one that we can do is you take 15% less damage while performing knife attacks. So at the moment, that's only what we can get. We can either save for later on. In fact, I can't even do it anyway because I don't even have a crow relic, so I can't even do it anyway. But yeah, we need crow relic as well. So but you collect them throughout the game, so that's that there. Like I said, a little bit of a hub area or the hideout. There's characters and stuff. So there's a little chest here. So I'm just absorbing people as I'm here, you know, as you do. Oh, looks like it's got a puzzle piece. Oh, very nice indeed. Thank you very much. I'm sure they're fine with that. I don't think they're going to mind. So now I can go back here. So shop, so arsenal, so a 400. So I can do fire rate or reload. No, let's do ammo. Perfect. And also here you can also save as well. If you want to do manual saves, you've got saves here. So you can do loads if you want to, or just load that just there. There we go, perfect. Got that there, love stuff. Want your shot sniper, please. So this is where we can also do a knife as well. Got no gasoline, but this is where we can do a knife. So as we saw with the puzzle, this is a number 7. So depending on the different types of keys that we get, we'll unlock particular chests. Yeah, so different chests here depending on what keys we get. Right, so there's another fair tickets. I mean, we're at the fair, so it makes sense. Hope I can trade these for something more useful at the prize booth. Okay, so once you win it, you can't do it again. Unfortunately, you can't game the system, but there are a few games here. Seem to be free to play, which is quite nice. So we run all the carnival games, which is pretty cool. And then get more chests. So let's have a look where we can spend them. So that costs 200 just there, 500 just there, which is one of those crow things, 300, 700, which is a, don't know what that is actually, a scroll of some sort, 700 music, and we got something there. So I'm guessing there's different hubs where you can redo them as you go. All right, let's do, how many do we got? We got 800, so I can do that. So this is a memento page that we just acquired. Right, so as we can see, as we've said earlier, so like I said, you got achievements, and we've done a few already, so we've got some points, which we'll be able to use in the art gallery models once we've done the game, and the vinyl records as well, which we can collect, but we've got the memento pages, which explains a bit about, I think just about the lore and what's going on in the world, which is pretty cool. So that was Crisol Theatre of Idols, and I had a pretty good time with it. Not bad. I didn't play a lot of it. I don't like to sort of go through full games. Well, it's not that I don't want to, but it's more a case that I don't have the time to go through a full game. And with this potentially being around 18-hour worth of playthrough, I haven't quite got enough time to go through everything. And also, I like to sort of keep it spoiler-free for people who want to just get an idea of what this game is about and if they should check it out. But for what it is, I had a pretty damn good time. I really like the ammo system with the blood. I think that's quite unique. I don't think I've seen it in any games that I know of, but I think it's really pretty interesting. Sort of the different type of sort of management with your resources. So rather than going, okay, I got health and ammo, they're basically the same thing. So you got to think, okay, what do I want to sacrifice? Either weapons and or health. So you got that really cool thing there. So I really like that. And you've got this sort of the Spanish sort of folklore, sort of this nightmarish world of rituals and all these sort of symbols and stuff, which I really like. Exploration is pretty cool. And yeah, I had a pretty good time. I will say I would be concerned of the run time. Speaking to sort of the team, it seems to be could potentially be like an 18-hour playthrough, which is quite a hefty amount of hours. And I feel like I've explored a fair bit of what it has to offer so far. And I'm not sure if that better could sort of keep going through that 18-hour playthrough. I could be wrong. There might be like changes and stuff, but for me, I'd be concerned of how long it would sort of keep fresh throughout the playthrough to keep you sort of hooked in. Also, there seems to be a big over reliance on the yellow paint, which I'm sure you probably saw throughout the gameplay. There's a lot of it. And while I think it's fine having it to help players, especially if they don't know where they're going, I would like at the very least have an option to turn that off, because I noticed it and kept noticing it over and over to a point where I almost wasn't exploring and just going, right, where's the yellow paint? Rather than going, okay, there's a window here, it was open, maybe that's how I can go through. Oh no, it's not. Okay, let's go somewhere else. And again, I think there's a place for it, because I think, as I said earlier with settings, allowing players to have the option to have different accessibility options, that would have been really cool to see. As far as I know, I didn't see any options to turn the yellow paint off in the settings. Maybe that become through, but I didn't see that all through my playthrough. But even if there was, it's on by default and did take away a bit of the gameplay. And I enjoyed it for the price, which is going to start with $17.99 with a 10% discount on Steam. So I think for the price and what you're getting, I think you're getting a really good game. And also from the developers, it's their first sort of debut game. So I think hats off to them for trying out something new. It has a bit of a twist to it, which I like, and also bringing sort of their sort of culture and sort of the history coming from Spain into a game is really nice to see. And yeah, overall, I think if you're a fan of sort of horror, sort of first-person horror games, macabre things, I think you'll have a really good time. And yeah, I think overall, not a bad time. Like I said, my concerns are sort of if it can prolong or keep the attention of the player for that potential 18-hour run play. With what I've unlocked so far, it seems like there might not be as much variety. But there we go. So it's Crisol, Theatre of Idols. Thank you for watching. Big shout out to Bloomhouse Games and Vermilla Studios for the review code. I really appreciate that. And thank you for watching. Again, my name is Warwick, and I do many reviews and unboxings and previews on this channel. I also stream on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Warwick, as well as all the socials where you may be. Thank you for watching. Please take care, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.